You are now listening to the Jay Porks Experience. Listen free on iTunes or at theandydareshow.com. Now, here's Jay!
Yo, what is the word, people? Welcome to another action-packed edition of the Jay Porks Experience. I'm Jay Porks. With me, as always, on the other side of the glass, making sure there's a well-oiled podcast machine every week, is nobody. It's going to be a shorter cast than usual because restaurants are taking the waiter for hire line in my Twitter bio seriously, and graduation season, people are booking parties. So I have work. But before I do that, I've got some goodness for you. And first, let me get to the list of websites you need to go to help keep me business. Before I do that, I was recording a couple of minutes ago. I went about 5 minutes in. My phone was ringing, so I hit pause. I picked up the phone, screamed at my mother, "I'm recording the podcast!" I was screaming like a fucking 5-year-old does. And I hung up the phone, and I was still recording. So, all you people thinking, hey, I want to buy the J Porks, we're going to call those the B-sides and rarities. We'll call that the B-roll. If you want to purchase the J Porks B-roll, I've got hours and hours of failed jokes, podcasts that didn't make it, lots of part 3s. You see how I have part 1 and 2? I had a lot of part 3s that I just didn't feel was strong. So there's that. Yeah, there's a lot of action in my house right now because they shut my gas off. At least it's the summertime. Take cold showers and bring home pizza. Hashtag poor people problem. Okay, aforementioned list of websites you need to go to. Help keeping me in the business. Where I was born and bred, ConcertConfessions.com. That's where you'll get all your live music, news and reviews, for fans, by fans. Now, whether that's Summerland 2014, whether that's Summer Jam at the Gorge Amphitheater, whether that's Fox Shazam at the Bowery Ballroom. Fox Shazam continue to tear up stages across America, by the way. We have all of that. We have all that going on there. And if you want to scroll down the page and click the Amazon ads and go buy stuff, because you're going to buy stuff anyway, and we're going to find ways to make you buy stuff anyway, so you might as well buy stuff anyway. You know what you do? I'll even make it easier for you. You go to Amazon and you buy me something. Alright? Now, I'm a medium shirt. That's the size I wear. Get me a shirt. You can get me a Snoop Dogg G-Pen that I can't afford. Get me something. Get yourself something nice. Treat yourself to something nice, sweetheart. Okay. When you're there, go to the Amazon ads. And also, I would like to say that it was easier to get people to want to join the Concert Confessions family when I was on a college campus and I was surrounded by English majors. As a waiter, not many people want to write about shows. But I'm sure if you want to write about shows and you're out there, I'm sure that you know to hit up me anywhere on the internet. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The only one I don't know how to use is Tumblr. I'll admit that out loud. If anyone wants to coach me through that, you could. But yeah, come find me. Come join our family. Go to shows. Go to shows you like. Write some reviews. Take some pictures. You're going to put them on your Facebook and share them with your 40 friends? Why don't you have your favorite band retweet you? Why don't you have an opportunity to try to see bands at little to no cost to you later on in life? Like when I first started doing this 4 or 5 years ago, and people used to ask me if I get into free shows, the answer was always no. Always. But now I'm looking back and like 8 out of the last 10 shows I went to, I didn't pay a dime for. I mean, besides all the meat puppets, I saw Foxy for free. I saw Summerland for free. I saw Soul Asylum, Fountains of Wayne, and Evan Dando for free. I'm Jay motherfucking Porks. And you can be, whatever motherfucking your name is, and you can be that. Meet some artists you like. You have Scott Lucas yell at you. Something. I met the original bass player from White Zombie. I've been backstage with Dean Ween. Just saying. Just saying. So join the family. What I was getting at was join the family. And I went off on a tangent. Also, ChristinaRocks.com. This is my homegirl from Detroit, man. And I always think about moving to Detroit. And please, I don't want anyone. I hope this isn't a bad taste. I always wanted to move to Detroit because it's the only place in the world that's doing worse than me personally right now. I don't think she actually lives in Detroit, so I don't know. I don't know where she lives. No, it's in Michigan somewhere. She has the Time Warp. 89xradio.com every Sunday, 8 to 12. Rocking the old school alternative. On her website right now, she has the Dandy Warhols bring a North American tour to Detroit this fall. The Dandy Warhols, you may recall from Reverend Justito's confession a few months back. Veruca Salt premiered their new video for It's Holy. I mentioned a few weeks ago that Veruca Salt's playing at Bowery Ballroom in the city and that it was sold out. I'm going to keep you posted, but I am going to send Veruca Salt an email, and I'm going to say, listen, I'm Jay Porks. Why don't you let me in for free? And we'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes. Trying to get into as many shows as possible because I am at 94 shows. I've reported in one way, shape, or form, all the way back from MySpace. I have wrote about 94 shows that I've attended, and I've wrote about them on the internet. 94. So I'm trying to break 100. And I want to break 100, but it's going to be tough. I was trying to see Black Flag on Sunday. The Black Flag without Greg Ginn. No, the Black Flag with Greg Ginn. This is Black Flag, not Flag. But they were playing in Europa, Brooklyn. This club is so fucking far away from my house. I tweeted out a picture of the map of the bus the bus map I would have to take from Staten Island to this fucking place. It's like in Queens. I'm gonna go out there to watch Black Flag play 17 songs in 20 minutes. Chill. If you had Rollins, you're at a bigger venue. If you had Keith Morris, you're at a bigger venue. Europa? That and Baby's All Right in Brooklyn. These are two venues that I've never heard of that all of a sudden are making moves. And Christina has the Time Warp. I told you, the Time Warp, 89xradio.com every Sunday. And I always take a scroll to see what's going on. See, in the 9 a.m. hour, Soul Asylum kicked it off. So there you go. I just saw Soul Asylum. Had some B-52s in there. Dinosaur Jr. K's Choice, Not an Addict. I fucking love that song. I've said it already, but I love that song. Dandy Warhols. If you were the last junkie on Earth. I gotta tell you, I disagree with that title. Gin Blossoms, Forgot About You. Stone Roses made an appearance. Sonic Youth made an appearance. Velvet Underground ended it off. Okay. Not seeing meat puppets in there. Maybe that's because I sleep too late on Sundays and I don't have time to call her up. Nirvana, Territorial Pissings. Let me a month later, or I guess I'm not sure if it was a month or two. I went and checked out all the Nirvana Rock and Roll Hall of Fame videos, and not in the moment anymore. If you ignore the Lord thing, you pretend that didn't happen. I'm pretty happy with the Hall of Fame induction. I think they did pretty well. But what I found odd was when they were playing Aneurysm with Kim Gordon. I'm like, what? I'm like, what's up with the guitar? Something sounds different, even if it's not better, worse, not bad, just a little different. Why does it sound a little different? I look over and I see Pat digging in. It's probably Pat's first time playing lead. Because if you recall in interviews with Kurt Cobain back in 1993, when they asked him, "You got a new guitar player? Why are you still playing the leads?" And Kurt's response was, "I only know how to play the leads. I don't know how to play the rhythm parts." So Pat Smear playing lead, little different tone. It was cool. It was cool. Like I said, I am not unhappy with any of that. All of that was cool. Besides, if we pretend that the Lord thing didn't happen, if we just get that out of our lives, and who Iggy Azalea said something to her, said, that's not what this should be about, and it's not Lord's. It's not. I'm gonna call her Lordy because that's funnier. It's not Lordy's fault. I didn't. I didn't, nor does anybody expect her to say no to that. But I just think that these guys should have. First of all, you need to have Jay Mascis on stage, man. Jay Mascis needs to hit the stage at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Why isn't he playing guitar? Kurt Cobain wanted him to join and play guitar in 1989. They played a show and Kurt Cobain asked Jay Mascis to join Nirvana and play rhythm guitar, play second guitar, I guess. Imagine if Jay Mascis was in Nirvana. That would have been some Sonic Youth times 10 shit with the guitar amplifications. Oh my god, I don't even want to. It makes me sad even thinking about it. Speaking of Kurt Cobain, Frances Bean Cobain tells Lana Del Ray that romanticizing early death isn't cool. You say anything about early death on the internet and you will get attacked by Frances Bean Cobain. She's on Twitter and she's coming to get you. Don't make it weird. I told you guys a couple of months ago. I said stop talking about this Courtney Love murdered Kurt Cobain shit when you have her daughters actively on the internet with a book club. Younger than me, mad smarter than me. But yeah, I warned you not to do it. And Lana Del Rey said something. I don't know if she said or if her video implied that young death was cool. I don't know. So romanticizing death isn't cool. I'm considering moving this whole recording the podcast operation to a fucking Starbucks. It's getting that serious. You know what? I don't even need it to be a Starbucks because I don't need internet to record it. That is the third time I've had to stop the tape. The third time. I know you don't care, but I do one thing in my house. They shut the gas at my house. I've said this already. Here's the thing about the gas being shut. The stove doesn't work. So good, now my mother can't go to the stove and ruin food. B, it's summertime, I don't need hot water. The discussion is over. Shut your fucking mouth. Be quiet for a little while. Let me talk to my friends on the internet about music, okay? Could I please talk about bands that 5 people have heard of? to the 4 people listening, Pam, Amanda, Andy, Tyler. That's all I know. 100. Oh, Margina. Margina's listening too. Okay. Christina. 6 of you. There's 6 friends I have. And these people, this person wants to stop me from talking to them. I gotta get out of it. I gotta get out of this house. I gotta go. I gotta go. I need a new place to live. The only problem with having no place, with getting a new place to live, is that I make $3 a fucking hour. I don't even know where I was. Frances Bean Cobain is Don't Romanticize Death. Okay. That was Hang the DJ. And as always, that totally ruined my mood. Do you hear this? I am so mad. Okay. Good thing they make drugs. Because after this fucking podcast, I'm gonna get fucking loaded. Okay. The headlines, of course, are always powered by Annie Quiet. And the latest is dripping with blood and caked in powder. Brody Dale's new "Don't Mess With Me" video gets, wait for it, messy. And Dale takes a beating in the video for her anti-bullying anthem, "Don't Mess With Me." Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats announced details of their first North American tour. The underground UK rockers will finally hit our shores later this year. And we've got Mastodon make metal fanboys cry again on Once More Around the Sun. The band's more accessible side is back for another outstandingly fine round. I'm guessing that's a take on it being less hardcore, less metally, more accessible. Julian Casablancas from The Strokes has announced a new album, a tour, and he shared a nonsensical album teaser. So Julian Casablancas announces details for his next solo album, Tyranny. Also, there's a tour with a pretty high train wreck probability. And I think it's Julian Casablancas and the Voids. Yeah, that's what it says on the album cover. So there you go. Robert Plant debuted a new song, Rainbow, with the sensational Space Shifters. And from last week, Against Me goes Drinking with the Jocks. And they released a new video. Also, last night on David Letterman, as we hit the As Seen on TV section of our little website here, Fish, that's right, with the PH, was on Letterman last night. And Hooray for the Riff Raff is on Wednesday night. So there's an hour-long live on Letterman broadcast. That's on the internet right now. I'll link you up to it. And they also played The Line from Fuego on David Letterman. And the internet went crazy. And I'm looking here. Body counts on Craig Ferguson on Friday. Craig Ferguson on the farewell tour. And there's your that's your musical guests. That is your musical guests for this week. And Modest Mouse has added a couple of tour dates. They're playing at Forest Hills Tennis Stadium in Queens. That's where they have the US Open. I'm not going to Queens. I love Modest Mouse and everything, but you will not find me in Queens. But they're playing the Starland Ballroom on August 7th. That's in Sayreville. That's if there wasn't a bridge and I had a bike. And I was going to say if I was in better shape. No, the shape I'm in now is good. If I had a bike and there wasn't a bridge that didn't let you use the bike, I can bike to Sayreville. Sayreville is really close. Just like if you drive and you like Modest Mouse, let's go to this show. That's how easy it is. And I hear Starland Ballroom's a cool place. And they're playing the Capitol Theater in Portchester. The Capitol Theater, my father was telling me that the Capitol Theater is a path train away. There's like a train that from Penn Station that goes right there. Like drops you off right in front. And if that's the case, I want to check that out. So Modest Mouse, not playing in New York City. We're playing surrounding areas. And a bored crowd at Fish on Live on Letterman. I actually haven't watched it yet. I am gonna watch it right now. You know what? I'm gonna watch it when I go on this little break right here, and we'll be back after this.
Hey everybody, it's Andy from the Andy Dare Show here. Just want to say that I am super proud to have the J Porks Experience be part of Dare Network. And if you want to keep my little podcast network completely free, all you got to do is go to theandydareshow.com, look on the right-hand side of the page, and you'll click on the Amazon banners for all your Amazon needs, and you'll tip your cap to the J Porks Experience and all the fine broadcasting here on Dare Network. Also, be sure to follow Jay on Twitter at JPorks, Instagram at JPorks, and jporks.blogspot.com. Thank you so much for listening, and back to the J Porks Experience.
And we're back. Something I wanted to touch on. I wanted to make sure I touched on it because it's something that's near and dear to my heart. And that's the fact that New York City, New York State, became the 23rd state across this great country to legalize medical marijuana. Now let's explain what that means. It means that people who are suffering from diseases like aggressive cancer and I'm sure there's another disease. There's a couple of other ones. I'm not a scientist. But now you can access medical marijuana. Good? Well, not really, because it's only edible medical marijuana. There is no smokable medical marijuana. Governor Cuomo doesn't want smokable marijuana. Now, anyone who has experienced smoking weed versus eating weed medically, like in the brownies and stuff like that, the edibles, they are two different things, man. When you inhale pot, it goes into your lungs and it goes out. When you eat a pot brownie, it's swallowed, it's into your stomach, it takes a different track through you. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh my God, you have the edibles and you trip." No, you don't trip, but it's a different high. It's a different head altogether. It's a totally different head altogether. And I think it's laughable that I'm supposed to get excited about. First of all, I'm healthy, so I don't care about medical marijuana. Medical marijuana has no effect on me. Let's have recreational pot. You know what the problem is? The problem is that Colorado is sitting there with recreational weed is legal. They made $19 million in taxes, just in the taxes alone, from recreational marijuana being sold in stores. They took that 19 million and they gave 1.5 million to schools. That's an extra 1.5 million that the 1.9 million, excuse me. That's an extra 1.9 million that schools didn't have before. So what I'm thinking is that when I turn 60 years old, New York will finally say, all right, let's legalize recreational marijuana, while Colorado is its own fucking country, launching rockets to Mars. I can't believe I fucked up the punchline. That pisses me off. Colorado's going to be its own state launching rockets to fucking Mars. They're going to have 5 Mars rovers up there. and we're gonna just be getting recreational pot. I'm not even gonna be into it anymore. That's ridiculous. And in the same weekend, well, the same week, I guess things don't happen in Congress on the weekend. Philadelphia decriminalized marijuana, but not the way New York decriminalized marijuana. See, New York, you get a ticket, and people think, oh, well, you just get a ticket, it's no big deal. No, actually, it is a big deal. Because now, for 3 months, I have to sit and look at the calendar and hope that my judge gets laid that morning so I don't end up getting fucking probation. Whereas in Philadelphia, it's a violation and a $25 fine if you have less than 30 grams on you. So that means in Philadelphia, if I get caught with a dime bag, if I get caught with an ounce of weed, I'm getting the ticket, and I don't have to wonder about what the fuck's gonna happen. I'm gonna go to court, I'm gonna pay $25, and I'm gonna go home. And you know what? I don't need recreational marijuana to be legal if there's a $25 ticket. I'll pay the $25 ticket. That's fair. That's fair to me. That is 100% fair to me. I don't care that I get a ticket and I might not have to pay any money. That doesn't affect me. The reason I smoke pot is because I'm a nervous fucking wreck. All day, every day, all I do is think about shit. Do you think that I want to stare at a piece of paper when I have court and wonder what's gonna happen? And pick out fucking clothes and wear a tie? Think I want to do that? And yeah, I wear a tie to court because I don't want to look like a fucking criminal. When I was like 15, I used to go to court wearing like a Rockaway sweater, baggy pants. And then I wonder why I got locked in drug rehab. So, marijuana is making strides everywhere in America besides New York State because Jay Porks is not allowed to have fun. And that's the truth. So don't bring your weed. And speaking of, there's in Detroit, speaking of Christina Rocks, Detroit's passed a law. They got a bunch of hotels that are toker friendly now because they decriminalized marijuana too. Well, there's nobody there. It's an empty space of land. I really don't know. I have too much Detroit jokes for someone who's never been to 8 Mile. If I do go to Detroit, I do want to be taking an 8 Mile though. If it's safe. I just don't want to get beat up by. Oh man, come on. Leaders of the free world. That's what it was. And a funny story because I paused and Googled it because I didn't want to sound like an idiot. I would love to go to 8 Mile if I don't have to get beat up by the leaders of the free world. But in the 8 Mile, the final battles is like the best, some of the best scenes I've in cinema. Like I love that shit. And I was in the movies the Friday, or it might have came out on a Tuesday. Whenever that movie came out, the first night it was out, me, my girlfriend at the time, her friend, and my neighbor went to see it. And I've probably said this before. The movie theater was exactly like the shelter in the movie. And everybody was screaming and fucking at every punchline. So anyway, Eminem, spoiler alert, skip this next 15, 30 seconds if you haven't seen 8 Mile yet. At the end, Eminem has this line that he says on Papa Doc where he tells him that he went to Cranbrook. Cranbrook, that's a private school. And that movie came out what, 2002, 2004, something like that. Anyway, I'm reading the rap.com and it says Mitt Romney went to a school called Cranbrook. No wonder why you lost. You and Papa Doc went to the same school? You're both losers. Oh man. Like Obama just during the debates Just should have been like, but I know something about you. You went to Cranbrook. That's a private school. You ain't a gangster. Your real name's Mittens. Nah. Excuse me. I'm a crackhead. Alright. Oh, shit. Look at the time. I gotta get to work. Let's get to the list of websites you need to go to help keep me in business one more time before I get up out of here. First of all, that's contentconfessions.com, where I was born and bred. You go there for all your live music news and reviews for fans, by fans. You hit them up on Twitter at ConcertConfess. You go to ConcertConfessions.com. You click the Amazon ads because you're going to buy stuff anyway. You also go to the AndyDeerShow.com. That's for all your Deer Network podcast needs. Now, whether that's the Tyler Cale Show, whether that's Smooth Operators with Tyler and Andy, whether that's the Jay Parks Experience or the flagship show, the Andy Deer Show, you go check that out. And you click the Amazon ads there because you're gonna buy stuff anyway. ChristinaRocks.com for your Time Warp, your 89xradio.com, Sunday, 8 to noon. You could also hit her up and ask her random questions about Detroit, as their hotels have become toker friendly. And you stick with AndyQuiet.com. That's your source for quality. Till next week, folks. Whiskey, weed, and Warren Zevon. Motherfuckers!
This has been the Jay Porks Experience. Thank you so much for listening.